Hi everyone, I'm Casey Samsel.
I'm Tyler.
McPeak. Forgot his last name. So we are here on Re-Rack Your Mindset, episode 3. We're going to talk to you about life after competing or taking a break from competing. And usually it's for your benefit. You know, it's usually you need rest, or you want to build more muscle, or you just want to love training again. Those are like the common things that I see, right?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is a lot of people kind of get burnt out on not only the dieting experience, but also they get burnt out on the workouts because it almost feels like a job to them to have to go to the gym, and it just becomes miserable for them. So,
More like a chore.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be that. You want all this to aid in the rest of your life, not kind of like, degrade it or limit your mindset to certain things. So, just from personal experience, like a little bit of background on me, I've been competing since May of 2013. So I've competed in a lot of shows, 30 shows, and the majority of them were like back to back to back. It was just as the Olympia point system was changing over, and it was like you had to get all the points in order to qualify. And then the first year that I was actually a pro, it was still, if you win a show, you were able to go into the show, or points. Olympia, yeah. Yeah, my very first year as a pro. But then it started getting to the point where I was only looking for like the end goal, and I was just competing, like, just like really just drilling myself into the ground. I felt really good while doing it, but like when I finished, like everything just like caved. It was crazy. So then I ended up taking maybe 3 months, because I was so addicted to the stage, like competing back to back, and like wanting to be who I was at that time.
So what do you mean by everything caved?
My adrenals were really fatigued. I started losing like my moxie in the gym. I stopped enjoying training as much.
Right.
Didn't really, it wasn't serving me a purpose because I wasn't giving myself a break in between. So.
Did your hair start falling out?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, my hair is actually still like a little bit thin from that year. That was 2016. My hair has never really been the same, but this is like my first real break. So I've been off the stage. What do we figure it out? Like 8 months or something?
Or that you've taken time off?
Yeah. So since last October, I've been off stage. So this is like my first like real break. I have I've taken like little like 2 or 3 month breaks here and there, but this is my first real time off where I get to kind of experiment again and love what I do every day, and just appreciate the gym workouts and training and the diet manipulation and things like that. But like for you, you're fresh off the stage a couple weeks ago, so you're in a little bit of a different stage than I am.
Yeah, I think it was about 5 weeks ago. I did my first NPC Classic Physique show, and I had started that process about 21 weeks out is when I actually started the process. And for me, I can be a certain weight on stage. So the beginning process, I wanted to gradually add size because I wanted to kind of be at the top end of that weight class. So the beginning process was more of putting on size, and then I did about a 12-week process of cutting down. And to make a long story short, I wasn't happy with the outcome. I was happy with my placing because I deserved what my placing was, but I definitely wasn't happy with the look that I had on stage, just because I know my potential and I know what I can look like, and I did not look anywhere close to that. So I was going to do another one right after that. That was about 5 weeks away. And after I was like dieting for a couple more weeks and everything, I could just like tell mentally like I just like wasn't in the game anymore. So I just decided to kind of take a step back and kind of mentally regroup, mentally refresh. And it wasn't anything to do with like the workout process, because working out is my passion. I love training and everything. It was more so like the dieting and just kind of like feeling very lethargic and just overall did not feel healthy at all. So it's just been nice to kind of like feel healthy again.
Yeah, well, you can actually see that like you in your training and your personality and everything like that too. Like when I first met you, you were deep in prep, and it's a 180.
It's like night and day.
But that choice to stop is like one of the hardest things. You know what I mean?
I know, because it's like, because I still had the adrenaline going from the show, because I just like I felt like I needed to prove it to myself to like go ahead and jump right back in.
Yeah.
But then like after me and you talked about it, it's like there's no reason for me to rush anything right now. And after we discussed everything, you were just like, you agreed that it was like smart for me to kind of just like take a step back, give my body a break, and like feel healthy again, and actually feel like myself.
Yeah, and that's so true. Like you step back and you get outside of the damn box for 5 seconds, and you realize, oh, okay, maybe I wasn't in like a perfect place to continue, and it's not going to take me that long to get back to that place. So you know what? I think honestly, just taking a little bit of time off is always going to be beneficial.
Yeah,
Change is always going to be there.
Yeah, because it is easy to kind of get sucked into that mindset. Because I mean, especially like for you, you said you did like so many shows back to back to back to back to back, and I feel like it is kind of easy to get kind of sucked into that because, I mean, I almost kind of went through like a couple weeks where it was like hard for me to adjust not being in prep, and it's almost kind of like that post-show depression or whatever that people talk about.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, because it does mentally mess with you a little bit because you get so used to being so structured and doing like prepping for a show. I mean, it's just a very structured lifestyle, so it's like it's a large mental adjustment, kind of like changing out of that.
Right, and being in control and almost like not having to think about your diet. You just make your food and eat it, and then you go train and then you continue on with your day. Clean your bedroom, whatever. You know, call your mom. So, like, I guess saying like coming out and like you said that you never really fell out of love with the gym, but like now you have a little bit of freedom though to not be on such a structured schedule. You could just train what you want. Like you still have all of your goals in mind, but like if you wanted to train chest and then you wanted to train shoulders, it wouldn't like blow up in flames. You know what I mean? Like 2 days back to back or whatever. So I think like the point of like getting to that spot where you're happy and you're humble to be just that athlete that is just actually loving the gym and loving the not so much of a cycle is like a really, really good emotional place to be.
Yeah.
For sure.
Especially having I think it's always very important to have a healthy relationship with food, because a lot of people, and just from my experience with clients, and I'm sure you've had plenty of experience with too, like competing can definitely mess people's relationship up with food because they restrict themselves so much, and then it ends up creating like eating disorders for a lot of people. So after they get done with the show, it's like they can't control themselves. So luckily I went through an eating disorder when I was younger, so it's like I kind of have that whole I already been there, done that with the eating disorder thing, so it's kind of, I have a much better relationship now, and it's like I can be in full control, whereas when I was younger, going through all that, like I couldn't imagine like if I never would have went through that and then like I competed, I probably would have like some type of issue afterwards with food if I didn't experience that earlier in life.
Yeah. Well, and the thing too, like you have this thing where you have to hold a certain image about yourself and the way you look and the way you present yourself. And it's really funny because you're only off the stage 5 weeks. I'm off the stage almost, it'll be a year in October, you know what I mean? And I still have that. You know what I mean? As I think we're just always going to be critical of ourselves, but there's ways to do that too. So like for me, like let's just like prime example, like this weekend, like me being able to actually go out and enjoy myself and being in control of myself and what I'm eating and what I'm doing, and knowing that I can still have structure outside of those, like outside of the weekends. You know what I mean? Or you can even kind of have control and structure inside of the weekends and still have fun. So it's, I honestly think the word balance is like, it throws me off a lot. So I've been talking to you and I keep saying the word like harmonize, and I say that to everyone. I say to my clients, you say, you know, and I think it's a really good like description. You want things to kind of like flow together instead of like, right. Because I see a lot of people saying, oh, I'm done with prep, I got to bulk, so I got to eat a lot of food. Not the case. You know, especially if you're a bikini client. Like a bikini client, if you're going, like if you're like 5'7" like me and you're 20 pounds above stage weight, you know, only like 4 weeks later, that's not ideal. It's not good for you. It's not good for your image, it's not good for your brain, it's not good for your body.
Your heart,
It's just not. So, taking those steps gradually to come out of a show too will literally help your image and help the way you think. So it benefits you so much more. Like the reverse dieting is like my go-to. And you're doing that with yourself now. It took you a little bit to get used to it, but
because I kept dieting for a little bit, and then I gradually started adding more food, then started adding in more cheat meals, and then now I'm just trying to push as much food as I can with keeping like kind of body fat levels where it's at right now.
Yeah. And have you noticed like when you eat just even a little bit more, like maybe like 50 more grams of carbs, like in a 2-day span, like that your training is significantly different. It's like you're like a powerhouse. It's insane because I'll like sometimes I'll train in the morning and I'm just kind of like I get it done, all the momentum's there, whatever. But if I train at night, I can really push.
different.
Yeah, I can push some different stuff around.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So in the same idea, like with reverse dieting coming out of a show, like if you just take your time, be patient, and just trust the process. If you've got a good coach in front of you and behind you helping you, just going through that process of eating more food and building your strength and building your muscle, and you can gain a little bit of body fat. That's healthy. You can't stay stage lean forever, but because nothing lasts forever.
And I think that's been like a mental adjustment for me too.
Yeah.
Just because you get so used to seeing yourself like a certain way, and then when you start, when your body starts accumulating more body fat and everything, it definitely kind of can mess with your head.
Yeah.
And I think for me too, I kind of got like into, and I was just talking to one of my friends about this yesterday, I kind of got sucked into the whole thing of like trying to always look sharp and lean for Instagram,
Yeah.
for social media.
Yeah.
Instead of like to try to be a better bodybuilder, I can't do that because it's like I have to be in a caloric surplus in order to work on my weak body parts, in order to improve, and in order to feel healthy. Whereas with me, I have like this threshold if my body fat gets like below a certain point, like I have insomnia,
Yeah.
like my sex drive completely goes away. Like it's just like there's a lot of negative side effects to having lower body fat, and it's just not realistic to stay that lean year round. But it's like I was trying to like stay into that just because for social media, which is
Yeah.
such a shitty thing because
Humans
it's
literally weren't built for that type of body all the time, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like it's kind of like, do you want more likes, or do you want to be better at what you do every day?
Exactly.
Like your passion. Do you want to build
Yeah.
upon that, or do you want to like build an Instagram following of people that they'll look up to for a certain amount of time, but 5 years down the road it might not matter as much
And
as
your
keeping
health,
yourself, as much as your health. Exactly. So, like I guess my takeaway advice is just stick to the plan and just remember that there's always a rhyme and a reason for stuff. Life is going to come at you regardless of where you're at in your journey, like in prep or outside of prep. But you can stay in control outside of prep. It doesn't have to be like one thing to another. It doesn't have to be extreme. And if it is extreme, it's not going to be healthy.
Yeah.
Everything should be a slow, gradual process, and you should enjoy it, especially getting out of prep. You should enjoy it. It just might take time for you to accept levels of how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm here, and and your body goes through phases. That's one thing I really wanted to touch on.
Yeah.
So like my body will go through phases. Like people will see me and they'll be like, "Oh, are you getting ready for a show?" And I'll be like, "No." And then like 4 weeks later, like nobody will ask me that. You know what I mean? So, and I know too, because I can see the difference in my body, and it goes through like hormonal changes all the time. Like I'll break out and things like that, and or sometimes like 8 weeks to 12 weeks, changes. And my body goes through phases where it kind of just like holds on to stuff, and then it'll break loose and everything will start working again. It goes through phases. And I think that we are just, because we're the more leaner individuals, we sense those types of things way more than anybody that doesn't train and doesn't get through this body fat and things like that. So we are overcritical of ourselves to a certain extent, not even just like visually, but internally too.
But just to tap into that too, I do think, and probably a lot of people wouldn't agree with this, but I do think that being overcritical, especially on myself, and you say that you're overcritical on yourself too, I think being that way though is what gives me the drive to want to continue to improve, because I feel like if I was just content with myself and content with how I was, then I don't think that I would have the same drive to come in day after day and stay and have that consistency to always like eat 6 meals a day, always come train like 5 to 6 days a week, and just to continue to try to stay hungry to keep improving. Because if I was just content, I would be like, okay, I can be lazy, I can kind of take a step back.
Yeah. Well, and see, now you're going to be in control of your prep, so you're going to like go through like all those phases of like if you're doing it in a healthy manner or not. I think that you know better to do it in a healthy manner.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really cool. I'm excited to see like what you can bring to the stage next. It's going to be a little bit more pressure, but that you thrive under pressure.
Yeah.
The same goes for me.
Yeah.
But I do know that like having that support too. Like when you are like an overachiever and you're a little bit overly critical of yourself, having like that second eye and having somebody to support you on your journey is like everything. Because you want to do it in a healthy way too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't just say, "Oh, I'm going to be ready for a show in 2 weeks," and then just crash diet. You would never do that. So, but what I'm saying is, I think it's it's a good approach to like just be a little bit overly critical of yourself to have that champion mindset. Yeah. In a healthy way, for sure. And people have common sense. Like they know what's healthy and what's not. They don't just start taking diuretics all morning. You know what I mean? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't drink a whole bottle of wine before you get on stage the next day. That's a whole nother episode. Whole nother episode. Hey, our creeper's gone.
Oh yeah.
Thank God. I was sweating just because of him.
I'm literally sweating right now. But not from that.
Man.
Hopefully my shirt isn't like drenched, see-through, or coming through.
That's my belly button. It looks like a heart. It's very sweet.
Lots of love.
Yeah, for real. But I think we touched on basically everything. I could kind of highlight really quick. Y'all can watch us during cardio. You don't have to, don't have to sit there and watch us. Just, watch us.
But if you do want to just sit there to watch us, you can.
And we'd be very happy with that as well.
I'd be thrilled.
But
I
did.
Was it the emoji?
No. Oh yeah. Like this? Which one?
The emoji, the hands up.
There's so many. Oh, this one, like praise, or this one?
No, that's a hug.
Oh shit. It is a hug.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was like hug.
I didn't get that.
What did you think it was?
Like
high fives.
Hey, like like happy.
Maybe it is. I thought it was a hug.
You're starting to find your balance and like enjoying yourself and like getting off the tracks a little bit, but not too far. And you don't have to go off the tracks like too far because that's not going to get you to your goal.
Exactly.
But like for me, I've always had pretty good balance after my shows where I will jump right on my reverse dieting and then I'll be able to enjoy myself more later. So instant gratification is the last thing that you're going to find here in the world of bodybuilding. For real. Instant gratification is not real. It's not. Just on Instagram, like you said, that doesn't even count.
Yeah.
We just do that to motivate people. So, but like for me, like finding balance is a prime example. Like literally, my actual example is taking like 2 days out of the week where I don't open my log and I just enjoy myself. I eat in just a smart manner. Like if I want to go have tacos and a couple margaritas with my husband, I will. And then the rest of the day, I'll just eat a little bit smarter. And I'll take my detox organics. That's like my greens that I drink. Just to kind of get ahead of it and get all my macronutrients because alcohol dehydrates you. Just be smart. It's literally about harmonizing things.
Yeah.
So, like for you, you said you've just been having like a couple more cheat meals here and there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been drinking too. Like, but for me, it's like I don't like hangovers at all. So I'm not drinking to the point of that to where I feel like shit the next day because I still like to be productive. And I still like to get my workouts and training in the next day, but for me, more balance is just like having a few more cheat meals or free meals, whatever you want to call it. Go to restaurants and everything, and
be with people.
Be with people, yeah, socialize, because it's like I do love to meet new people and speak to new people and conversate and learn about people. But I find like if you're in prep, sometimes like your social life kind of gets put on the back burner, and it's kind of because you're more focused. On that end goal, so it's kind of like your priorities change at that point. So
yeah, it's a very selfish sport, and you've got to be. That's kind of the part of being like a little bit overly critical. Like it's all like you have to be a little bit selfish.
Yeah.
A lot of it, because everything that shows up on like show day is because of you. You can have the guidance and the support, but it all comes down to using the tools that you were given.
Yeah.
So. But I hope we touched on everything about balance, and as always, rather than just hitting on Tyler in the comments, throw us some questions.
Do people know?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Gotcha. So, yeah. I don't know. So maybe this is true. Yeah, we wore normal clothes.
Maybe I should show my cleavage.
No, you just let me have this one.
She can take this one.
Oh my gosh. But I really hope that we just generalize kind of like finding, harmonizing things like outside of prep, inside of prep, and we gave you like personal perspective that was real, that was genuine, that was honest. Me being so far out of my last show and him just being recently out of his last show. We have a lot of different things that we are challenged by right now, so we would like to hear, like, if you guys are struggling, we're here to help. If you have any questions, we're here to help. We want to answer.
You say slam those comments below.
I was gonna say it again, but all right.
I took it. Yeah, slam them.
Slam them.
Below. That was aggressive.
Thank you. Ta-da! Sign out.